Hey everyone, this is Ted Check. I am here with two guys from Wings of Steel. I'm really excited about this. I've got Parker, who is the lead guitarist, and Leo, who's the lead singer. And this is just amazing because I got to say, guys, when I saw, uh, your when I listened to and watched your videos, listened to your music, it took me right back to the '80s. That was when I was a teenager. I'm a little bit older, but it took me right back to that. And then I started doing research on you guys. Who are these guys? And kind of found out how you met at, I think, if I'm, correct me if I'm wrong, but you met at Musicians Institute of Technology in California, the other MIT, not the one out over in the East Coast,
Yeah.
but Musicians Institute of Technology in California. And so just and listening, Parker, you play the Jackson guitars, which was one of the main guitars that guys used in the '80s. So took me right back to that. It's not an accident, right? I mean, this is all you guys planned all this, right? I mean, these are your true influences. Am I right?
I mean, pretty much, yeah. Uh this is just kind of the music that we've gotten into and grown up with. It's not for our generation, it's not the norm, and we're definitely outliers. But I mean,
Mhm.
yeah, we just that era of music is what that's what really inspires us, and that's kind of where we're based. So yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, Leo, how about you?
No, yeah, I can only really agree. I think a little bit of everything comes out, stuff we've grown up with, stuff that's influenced us along the way, and it comes out sounding uniquely us due to, our personalized instruments and shit.
Oh, and absolutely. Like you have an EP that's out right now. So it's a 5-song EP. And when I listen to that, like just to mention a few things, like Wings of Steel, that to me is like just a balls to the wall rocker. Rhythm of Desire has a very heavy blues influence. Storm Child, the beginning of that, kind of has like a Middle Eastern. Is that a sitar, Parker, or
It's actually just it's a nylon string acoustic guitar. It just has some interesting effects on it to kind of give it
okay.
an exotic vibe. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
just an acoustic guitar.
For sure. So yeah, you've got some wide ranging influences, but it all comes back to rock and roll, heavy metal, however you want to put it. Can we expect more of that? Because I know you guys are working on a full length LP. Can we expect more of that, more kind of diversity, but yet still staying true to your roots?
There's plenty more where that came from. I think, the thing about us is that we don't really stick to, one thing. Whatever comes out. And seeing as our influences are, there's so many of them. And every time we get together, there's there's always something new that we shit out of our asshole, so to speak. So, um,
Thanks
yeah,
for that.
there's plenty more where that comes from, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll to add to that, I think a lot of what it is that we even though our core sound is based in that like hard rock, heavy metal kind of stuff. I mean, we do like listen to a lot of different music, and we find new stuff and new songs here and there. And I think at the end of the day, it's always gonna sound like us, just because in this band we're not trying to achieve a certain sound or fill a certain niche or whatever. We just write the music the way that we write the music.
Hmm.
And whatever's inspiring us at that time, and whatever life's happening, that's just gonna whatever we have is gonna be a product of that. And I think that's what keeps it really cool.
Great. So yeah, this is a unique situation, I think, because Leo, you're in Sweden, Parker's in Los Angeles. How are you guys doing this? How you getting together and recording when you're on different continents?
Well, so basically, I go over to the US for however long I get to stay, seeing as I'm on a tourist visa right
Oh,
now. When
okay.
I go there, it's about, 2.5 months, something like that.
It's nine, 90
And
days, 90 days.
yeah, yeah. However, you don't want to overstay your welcome, then that's
Hmm.
it. That's the US. But
Sure. Yeah.
how
You want to stay in our
however
good
we
graces. Yeah.
right. And And so I go over there and we try to get as much stuff done as possible, you know. So we plan all the stuff out that we want to get done during my stay, and
Mm,
we haul ass, you know, and have a lot of fun doing it, of course. And
sure.
then I go back and you know I pick up a day job to raise as much funds as possible, be able to go back again, and you know Parker does the same thing, keeps the band rolling, and yeah, that's pretty much what we've been doing right now.
And I was reading that and this may have changed, but that you guys have not signed with a major label because you don't want to get hamstrung with, you know, how labels can get. Oh, we want you to go for this sound. We want you to do that. We want you to do a power ballad that can be played on the radio or whatever. So, are you still at that point? Are you still kind of independent, Parker, or have you signed with anyone?
No, we still haven't signed with anyone, and to be honest with you, the further along that we get going on this endeavor, the less and less appealing the record deal seems, because you know we live in a very interesting day and age where all of a sudden you don't need to be signed with a major record label for people in pretty much every country in the world to hear your music. You can do that without a major label.
Oh, okay. Sure. Yeah.
And
But we're
so
in the digital age.
realistically, yeah, and realistically, what you're getting from a label is you're basically getting the investment, and then obviously you get the connections of whatever promotional infrastructure they got going for them.
Mm.
But the more momentum that we're able to build up in and of ourselves, like the less appealing the standard record deal is gonna seem. So from where we're sitting now, we're developing our own independent thing very well, and it's picking up a lot of momentum. And basically we're just setting the it's making our standards for what we would look for in a deal that much higher and higher. And
I see.
it's not something we're anticipating. And nine out of 10 offers that we received, it's not gonna make sense.
I got you. So Leo, I wanted to ask you, you guys, I think it was, I don't know how many months ago it was, but you played at the Whiskey A Go Go. There were some US fans that got a real treat and got to see you guys play live. How did that go? And will you do any more US dates?
Yeah, so that was indeed a treat for everyone involved in that. It was our debut show, and you know, it was great just finally getting out there. So much love and stuff has gone into this project, this band that we're putting together and that we're putting out there, and yeah, to play the songs live, man. You know, you're up there and it strikes you every time. This is how the songs are supposed to be experienced. You know, like you put them out, they're on the album, it's all good, sounds killer. You crank it up in the car, life's good. But then when you get on stage, it just electrifies. And I think we shared that connection really well with the people that were able to make it to that show. And as for upcoming shows, I think we have currently have one set in stone. I know for May, right, Parker?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we
And
got one. We haven't announced any of this yet. We're gonna
Okay.
do it over the next coming weeks, but it's May 20th at we're doing a co-headline at the Viper Room, and then we're
Oh,
supposed to do a headline at the Whiskey sometime in late June. We're still getting all those details figured out,
wow, that's excellent.
but yeah, so we got two more Los Angeles shows. Um, we don't have this confirmed, but it's pretty much, I can pretty much tell you it's definitely going to happen. Germany and Europe in 2024 is going to be it's going to happen. So
Okay.
stay
So
tuned for
like
that.
a sizable tour.
We're yet to get the scale of this figured out, but we have one big show pretty much confirmed out there. It's they don't announce it yet, and I'm not going to say anything specific until
Understood.
they've done it. But
Yeah.
yeah, we're set in line to get that rolling.
Well, how fitting that you've got two more shows in Los Angeles. I mean, that was kind of, where a lot of stuff was happening in the 80s. You know, so many bands came out of there. that went on to great success. So it just makes total sense that, and you're based there, Parker, and you guys met there and everything. So yeah, that's awesome. But I'm over here in Pennsylvania. Are you ever gonna, maybe do an Eastern United States tour? What do you think about that? And get into, I don't know, New York, Baltimore, Philadelphia, kind of some of those cities, maybe someday.
I mean, we would love to, because like based off of what we can, see from our audience across our different platforms, it's really spread out. I mean, yeah, we have concentrations in certain places like LA, but our fan base within the US is very spread out, and we got fans in, the northwest, the northeast,
Mhm.
all down the East Coast, the South, the Midwest, everywhere, so we inevitably we got to get out there and come and meet and be there and play
Oh,
some
absolutely. There's
shows.
people that want to see you, people want
Yeah,
to see you
yeah,
live.
And
absolutely.
we
And
want to see them too.
yeah,
That's great.
but it is you know we're limited to how much time we have here, and we are being without a label. We don't have it's whatever money that we can basically get back from our sales of CDs and online stuff, and then
Mhm.
whatever we can get into it. And it costs a lot of money to get stuff like that rolling, and it takes a lot of logistics and planning to get sorted out. But when
And
Mhm.
we
we
really want
actually
to
we
do it, and
started up
Yeah,
yeah,
Leo, go ahead.
no,
we
I mean,
started
that's
up
pretty
a
much it.
I'm
That's
sorry,
pretty
Parker. We
much it.
started up a GoFundMe project too, where some people really helped us out by donating so that we could keep pushing forward. And that was just wanted to throw a big shout out to the people that helped out right now, because
Yeah, absolutely.
that
Yeah.
was totally sweet. So that's awesome.
So Leo, I wanted to ask you, are you guys still recording in that you've got it's like a bomb shelter or something that you somehow found in the kind of just outside of the city of Los Angeles?
Yeah, so it's in Parker's parents' backyard. So they
Oh,
dug up a bomb shelter during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and
okay.
so
Well,
we converted that. Uh-huh.
basically the house was built during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and it's actually a few of the houses on my street here. They have or had
Yeah.
these little like 10 by 10 by 6 foot high rooms in the backyard. So
Okay.
my
That's common at that in that era to do that.
yeah, yeah.
Right.
So my parents did renovations here, I think like 15 years ago or something like that, and the previous owner had just filled it in with dirt, and they didn't like pack it in with concrete or anything. So they dug it out, and they just you know they cleaned all the shit out, and then it was just sitting there. And then fast forward to 2020, me and Leo are living together in Hollywood, and we don't have anywhere to record vocals because the apartment walls are paper thin.
Right.
So I just got, and it's COVID, so we don't really have anything else to do. So we just came out here, and we put some foam up on the walls to kind of treat it so we didn't get too much echo. And yeah,
Right.
now that's where we do all our recording. You know.
There you
Yeah,
go.
so the upcoming album, the EP, all the stuff's been recorded apart from the drums, and yeah, it's kind
Oh,
of cool. We
for
call
the
the
new
place
one.
the Bomb Depot. So
Yeah, we call it the bomb depot.
So,
But
so you have, so for the new full length record, you have everything recorded except for the drums, you were saying. Is that right?
oh
yeah,
no.
no, everything's already been recorded. Everything's done. We're just waiting to release it now, pretty
Mhm.
much.
Oh,
But
okay.
everything apart from the drums were actually recorded down there.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I got you. Okay, yeah. Do you have a date yet for that for the LP?
Well, we're yet to announce it, but
Okay.
seeing as we're here
Oh, that's
right here
fine.
right now, it is
Oh,
May 19th of this
oh,
year.
all
So
right.
it's coming up
Excellent.
soon. We're gonna
Oh
we're gonna
no.
announce it pretty soon, but
All right,
since we're
that's
here
fine.
talking with you, you get a little early preview.
You
But
heard it here first.
yep.
Excellent. Yeah. That's fantastic. Yeah. That I can guarantee you there are a lot of people out here that, in the United States that would love to see you guys. I was just thinking, like, you got to get, since you don't have a record label, get somebody behind you that not, I mean, I'm going to do my best to push this out there. I'm going to just push it out as much as I can, but Elon Musk. You got to get like Elon Musk to say that you guys are his new favorite band or something like that. His favorite new band. You know what I'm saying? Like hell, I'll tweet him. And you know, if he could blast that out there, I mean, just think of how exponentially far that would go, you know, to just kick you guys into the next level and into the stratosphere. Because you know what I'm saying? Like this Sweden US thing. We gotta get you guys together like permanently. You know what I'm saying? Like to do this like full time. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I mean, having a big financial backer would, of course, do a big difference, to the stage we're at right now.
Right.
But we'll take it one step at a time. Eventually, we'll get to where we want to be going. But if we could write him a song and he'd be backing us, that'd be pretty sick.
Well, yeah, I'll see what I can do. I mean, I don't know the guy, but and I'm sure he's very, very busy, but you know, we'll see what we can do.
There's always time for metal.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So okay, so we got the LP coming out. What about so do you think when you look at the genre of hard rock heavy metal, do you think are we kind of in the midst of a resurgence, would you say? Because like from my point of view, okay, it was huge in the 80s, and then geez, right around the early 90s, because of grunge, basically, boom, it dropped off. And so a lot of maybe, I mean, some bands kept going, but it really got pushed to the underground. But I'm just thinking of the United States. I mean, when I look around the world, like it's still big in Europe. I bet you it's really big in like Brazil, Japan, you know. So I hope that that's the case. I hope we are in like a resurgence of hard rock heavy metal. What do you guys think about that, Parker?
I'll
Or
yeah,
Leo? Go ahead, Leo.
I'll start it real quick. I'll let Parker answer too. I think we're definitely, I don't think it ever really died. The only thing that happened is that it's not mainstream and it's not getting popularized. It's not getting pushed.
Right. Right.
If anything, there's more bands now doing it.
Mm.
But it's all kind of behind the scenes, as we're coming out of the same exact spot. It's kind of all happening behind the scenes, but it's still quality.
Right. Right. Yeah. And matter of fact, Sweden has quite a few bands I've discovered
Oh,
that sound great and have had some great success.
Mhm.
oh,
Maybe just not
absolutely.
right
Yeah.
here in the United States.
Yeah. Well, it's actually on that note, I do think, and I mean, when you kind of look more towards our neck of the Sonic woods,
Mm,
I think a lot of bands that are like similar to us, they're really in Europe. Sweden's a big one,
right.
Germany, Finland, all these places. That kind of seems where more similar bands to us are. They kind of come from, and I'm not really sure why that is. But when I look at like other smaller bands on YouTube or Spotify or wherever I come across it, they tend to be European, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, back to the main thing. I do think that I would almost argue that today, even though that rock and metal music is not in the mainstream, you're not seeing it at the Super Bowl halftime show, you're not hearing it on the radio when you're at the fucking
Right.
grocery store, but I mean, because of the internet and all these streaming services, now all of a sudden, um, all these people all around the world who may have never discovered it because whatever, labels didn't distribute to that country or that part of the world or whatever. Now there's people all over the world who can hear it, not only just, get one band and one CD, but they can see they can go into different niches and they can go see all different stuff. So,
That is a
uh,
good point. Yeah.
so you could argue today there is actually more rock and metal fans than there was back in the 80s. The only difference is that it's more it's not mainstream anymore. So you don't
Hmm.
see the
Hmm.
big, all the flashy stuff in the media that you would have back in the day.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, and I think it's really cool too, because I mean, we're picking up streams from like Saudi Arabia and shit. I mean, that's fucking sick.
Hey, there you go.
People all over the place, man. You know, there's however many countries that these, you know, YouTube and Spotify and Apple and all these
It's
different
everywhere.
services, you know, like there's people in these really, you know, crazy places that are checking us out, and it's kind of cool, you know, because it's like, wow, somebody on the opposite end of the globe is checking out something that we did here, you know. That's incredible.
That is, yeah. So your plan needs to be to get to all those places at some point.
Oh
I
yeah.
mean, yeah,
Oh yeah.
Leo, you mentioned you know the Middle East. I mean, yeah, that's a big market right there. You know,
I mean, the whole thing is like,
there's a growing metal thing in the Middle East, actually. We're starting to see some certain bands from Saudi Arabia and all these places like starting to pop up a little bit. And it's like it's cool, you know, it's not
nice.
just something that's congregated in a couple, you know, one half of the world. Now it's like it's a worldwide thing nowadays, which is awesome, you know.
Great.
yeah, I think the whole thing is that today the hard thing is to get out there, in front of people, because there's so much of everything. But for that same reasons why for this upcoming full-length album we're putting out now, we're gonna put out 3 music videos,
Oh,
and
good.
because that's what we found. We put out our first music video and it got put in front of a whole lot of people due to the algorithm and people sharing and stuff like that. And the more people we can reach, the better. So that's like the approach that we're going with for the release of this album, which I think is going to be really cool.
Yeah, no, that's great. I mean, the videos are a great and proven vehicle for getting the songs out there. Absolutely. Since the days of MTV when they used to play music videos on the channel. That sure I remember all that. And I forget what they called it, but yeah, there was a heavy metal show that was on MTV and
Headbangers Ball or whatever it's called.
Headbangers Ball, yep,
Yeah, there you
all that stuff. Yeah. It's been so long, I forgot the name of the show.
go.
But I wanted to ask you guys about your influences because Parker, I see you're wearing a Tigers of Pantang shirt. And but when I listen to you play, there's a lot of neoclassical stuff there. Like I don't know whether you picked it up from maybe Yngwie Malmsteen or Paul Gilbert, because he went to MIT. He was a teacher at MIT, or maybe some other guys. But how about influences for you as far as guitar, and then influences overall for the band? What would you say?
Well, I mean, as a guitarist, to be honest with you, my guitarist influences and my musical influences are pretty intertwined. There's a lot of great guitarists out there that I really like, Paul Gilbert and Yngwie, and and there's a guy Guthrie Govan's really cool.
Oh yeah,
Um
yeah.
there's a lot of these like super shredder guys, and
Mhm.
I like a lot of those guys, and I've picked up some stuff from them, but I really think my favorite, guitar players is guys like John Sykes or
Oh
uh,
yeah,
Neil Schon or John Norum. These guys they're not only incredible guitar players, but they also are in bands that just write great music. And I feel like
yeah,
it's one thing to be a technician and to have a thing as your own individual, but to take your own thing as an individual and put that into a band and write a song with that and do something
yeah.
that's something that's really important to me too. So but yeah, a lot of Sykes and
Yeah, I see him on your wall there. Thin
yeah,
Lizzy.
he's right there,
With the Black Beauty,
yeah.
his guitar. How about you,
But
Leo? What would you say your influences are?
So obviously they've changed, throughout the years. They're not the same now as they were when I was 10, but some of them that has like stood out pretty much throughout. It's been Dio is probably the biggest influence that
Ryan
I
James.
have. His vocals are absolutely insane, but the way that he writes his lyrics too, there are always multiple ways you can look at them and interpret them, and that shit really speaks to me. And then we have Philip Lynott from Thin Lizzy,
Yeah.
uh, in a sense that you can tell that a lot of people got really influenced by his vocals, as like in how he phrases it, how he stylizes his vocal.
Mm,
Like Gary Moore and even John Sykes, as mentioned previously, you can hear how they kind of sing in that vein of how he was expressing himself.
yeah,
Um, then we have David Coverdale's been a huge one, and Steve Lee from Gotthard, Swiss band. Um, yeah, I could go on, but I'd say those are probably the top four
sure.
ones.
And when did you realize that you had something with your vocals? You know, that you had this range, that you could hit high notes, and at one point, you know, in your singing career, did you say, hey, you know what, I kind of got something here?
I mean, I couldn't hit those notes. What I did have was I had a strong will of hitting those notes.
Ah, there you
So,
go.
like I knew what I wanted to do. I didn't quite have like the tools to do it, but as you kind of go on, you kind of learn from your own mistakes, and that didn't feel so good. Maybe I should try and do something else, and you try that and it didn't feel so good, and eventually you kind of build up this toolbox of what to avoid, and also you take mental notes of what sensations feel good to your voice. And so then when I knew that I wanted to be in a metal band, then with that comes the fact that, well, you probably want to be able to hit some high notes too if you want to be able
Mm.
to make a sound through all those high-pitched squealing guitars and stuff like that. You know how it is.
That might be a good thing to
Um,
do.
yeah, right. So I started practicing a lot of head voice and reinforced head voice, and mixed voice, whatever you want to call it, to get the voice up there. And yeah, just enjoy singing, and
Mm.
don't get too bogged down during like practices and shit like that, because it's not what it's about. It's all about expressing. That's literally what it is. I always pull out the example of a baby crying, right, screaming his fucking lungs out. It's not like that baby's gonna lose his voice ever. It's just expressing a need, a desire, a feeling, and that's
Mm.
literally what singing is about.
And how do you keep your voice healthy? Because you know, you would think after singing a lot, you know, you might go hoarse or something like that. What are some like techniques that you use to not do that?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely happens. I think it's unavoidable at a certain degree. The biggest thing I would say is because you're going to be faced with all these things, like, there's caffeine, there's humidity, there's technique, all these things. But what I found is the more you trip on those things, the more you think about them, the more
Ah,
hoarse you're going to go. you know so you get singers who never had a vocal lesson their entire life, who fucking drinks coffee before even smokes weed, whatever. Like, they don't get hoarse, but that shit struck from their mind. They don't even think about it
got you, got you.
So that's one big thing, but of course hydration is really important when you're singing.
Hmm.
um, and um, and again, being in the here and now, being in the expression. As soon as you start losing that, then you're forcing it. And as soon as you're forcing something with your voice, it's like any muscle. When you force, then you're gonna get strained.
Gotcha, gotcha. Um, well, we've gone over a lot, guys. You made some great announcements here, you know, as far as the LP and everything. How can people get in contact with you, or at least experience you? You're on Facebook, you're on YouTube. Anything else? Any other platforms that you're on?
Well, we're on Instagram as well. And then of course you can find us any streaming service that you can think of. So, the Spotify, the Apple, Deezer, Tidal, whatever. And then of course you can get our physical over on our Bandcamp. Um, but yeah, that's basically it.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So,
Well, yeah, I'll let you guys go. This has been fantastic. This has been great. And I wish you all the best. And you know, I'm gonna do what I can to spread the word about Wings of Steel. Um, you know, and I am eagerly anticipating the LP. I can't wait for it.
Thanks for having us, man. Appreciate your kind
Yeah.
words and for spreading the word. It's been nice talking to you.
Thank you.
yeah,
Yeah,
no
and
problem.
a tour. I want a US tour out of you guys.
We're
We
working on
wanted
it, but
to.
it's coming. It's
All
coming.
right,
We're
man.
working on it. We don't have any definitive things, but it's
No,
gonna it's gonna
I
happen. It's gonna happen.
I got you. All right, yeah. Well, let's stay in touch, and we'll do this again sometime.
Oh yeah, man. All
Sounds good,
right.
buddy.
Thank you.
All right, best of luck. with everything.
Peace, love, and heavy metal.
All right.
There you go.
Take care.